All right, so the rumors are out there. The Devils have really been struggling. They just fired their head coach, John Hines. Make sure to check out that video. But today we're going to take a look at the latest on Taylor Hall, where he may end up going, and how soon. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe, and let's take a look at Taylor Hall possibly being traded. All right, so we knew this day would be coming soon, and it will definitely be coming soon enough, as the New Jersey Devils have made it pretty apparent that they are not going to be keeping Taylor Hall. They're definitely looking at the market, what may be available for the star player in Taylor Hall. So, take a look at Taylor Hall's stats in his career, almost 600 games for Taylor Hall since he's been drafted. Seems like he's been in the game for so long now. It's insane, but really flew by. In 589 games played, he has 206 goals, 327 assists, 533 points. He's a career minus 39 now. Definitely a little bit of an issue there. And his stats this season, he has 27 games played so far, 4 goals, 18 assists, 22 points, and a minus 11. Thanks to Hockey Reference for that information. But nonetheless, the New Jersey Devils have some issues here. Taylor Hall has only played in a playoff game where they've won once. He's only played in one playoff game that he has won. That's not enough, and he admitted, he said, listen, I'm continuing to get older. My hockey window is only open for so long, and I really want to find a team where I can win and win consistently. That will be Taylor Hall's job this summer. Now, with that said, what teams would be in on a guy like Taylor Hall? So to start things off, the big rumor we've heard is the Colorado Avalanche. The Colorado Avalanche, it makes sense. It's out of the Eastern Conference, so they can pull Taylor Hall away from the conference. The Colorado Avalanche have almost $23 million in cap space this coming summer, so they're going to have plenty of room to bring him in. They see themselves as a team that can win now, based off of where they are in the Central Division. A little bit of a mismatched division. We're seeing teams that were really high up kind of fall down a little bit. The Blackhawks, the Minnesota Wild. This is a good window right now for the Avalanche to go and win a Stanley Cup and really compete in the Western Conference. Taylor Hall could definitely help with that. They have one of the best top lines in hockey right now in Mikko Rantanen, Gabriel Landeskog, and Nathan MacKinnon. You could add another lethal weapon like Taylor Hall, who sees a team that's winning and winning consistently, has a really great roster. They could give him the money he wants. I think that's something that Taylor Hall will definitely be considering this summer. Another team we've heard about in the Central Division is the Nashville Predators, and the Predators have really struggled over the last couple of weeks here to start the season, and they've really found some issues with not scoring enough goals, and they definitely have their stars. You have guys like Philip Forsberg and Victor Arvidsson, but you need some really high caliber, high potent offensive players. I think a guy like Taylor Hall could be that difference maker. Does Taylor Hall see this team as a consistent playoffs team for the next couple of years? That's on Taylor Hall. That's information I don't know. But Nashville, you would have to think, is a team that would be at least intriguing to the to the New Jersey Devils. They have a really promising defenseman who is playing right now in Dante Fabro. I wonder if he would be a part of a deal. Would a guy like Eeli Tolvanen maybe be a guy that the Predators are willing to give up? With the Avalanche, they have a guy like Samuel Girard. Bowen Byram is not available. So those are things that we kind of have to keep an eye on, with Taylor Hall. There's been rumors that the New York Islanders have shown a lot of interest in Taylor Hall. The Islanders have plenty of prospects. Noah Dobson, Oliver Wahlstrom, Michael Dal Cole, Josh Ho-Sang, plenty of guys that they could pick. Question is, do they want any of them, and do they want to trade in the division? Right down the road, they play the Islanders, 4 to 6 times a year. Do you really want Taylor Hall to be coming back and haunting you possibly in the first round of the playoffs? I think the New Jersey Devils would like to avoid that at all costs. The cost would definitely be higher with a team in the division like the Islanders if they were to do that. But I think the Islanders have the assets. They have first, second, and third round picks, as well as some of those guys that I mentioned, may be intriguing to the New Jersey Devils. A couple of other teams we've heard about, maybe even the Los Angeles Kings. I don't know how they fit him in, but if they can make cap room, they could definitely use a high potent player like Taylor Hall. The question again, does Taylor Hall want to go to a team like Los Angeles? They're not really looking like they're a team on the rise necessarily. So that's something to keep in mind. The Edmonton Oilers are always talked about. It's been rumors that Taylor Hall wouldn't mind going back to Edmonton. And could we see a Taylor Hall with either Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl line? That would be absolutely lethal. Maybe all three together. Oh man, that's a really solid line. But holding expectations a little bit. We'll see what happens. I think a reunion in Edmonton is definitely a possibility, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Let me know, what do you guys think? Who do you think is going to win, quote unquote, win the Taylor Hall sweepstakes? At the end of the day, this is really big for the New Jersey Devils as an organization. You talk about Ray Shero, teams, people, including myself, he's definitely been a little bit questionable in terms of his recent first-round picks. A couple of guys that he's gotten, Pavel Zacha, McLeod, a couple of guys that they've been drafting. We're not too sure how good they're really going to be. Really haven't turned into the best. Obviously, you have Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier. Those are givens. But some of those other guys that they've drafted, like I said, with Zacha and McLeod, are a little bit more concerning, a little bit less discreet on how the Devils look. I think this is an easier comparable to what we saw a couple years ago. Not in the exact same circumstance, but with Matt Duchene when he was with the Colorado Avalanche with Joe Sakic. The Avs were really struggling. Matt Duchene did not want to be a part of the Avalanche any longer. He grew up loving that team and things like that. It just didn't work out. And Joe Sakic got a lot of heat for waiting to trade Matt Duchene. He got really good value from the Ottawa Senators and the Nashville Predators with a 3-team trade. And he ended up really, there were rumors that Joe Sakic was on the hot seat and his head would be rolling off the board at the end of that season if they didn't get things going with that Avs team. They ended up getting a really high draft pick from the Ottawa Senators and Bowen Byram from that trade, as well as a defenseman in Samuel Girard for Matt Duchene. So a really, really solid pickup. And, the Devils are going to have to kind of do the same thing here with Taylor Hall. The most closely knit trade we could see is what we saw with Mark Stone last season in terms of actual value. We saw Eric Branstrom, a very highly rated defenseman, prospect in Vegas, a first-round pick. You would have to think there would be conditions. If it would be a first-round pick if the team kept Taylor Hall. Maybe there's it's a sign and trade where he signs right away. Kind of like what we saw with Mark Stone. Or is it one of those conditionals where if he doesn't re-sign, it's a second, it's a first. If he does re-sign, things like that have to be put, into question. But nonetheless, it's going to be a very interesting year for Taylor Hall. We're going to be talking about this for the next month or two, if not even longer, until Taylor Hall gets traded. At this point, we're into that time of year where it's kind of like the holidays and things like that. I don't know if Ray Shero wants to pull the trigger right now, but who's to say he won't do it tonight or tomorrow? So who knows? Let me know in the comment section down below, where do you think Taylor Hall will be going for the remainder of his NHL career? So thank you for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.